Okay, we'll speak to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
A piece of Zoyar, and I'm not sure we get a chance to go into the Likkutei Yitzchak in it, but for sure Kudei to read a little bit of the Zoyar and a little bit of what the Rebbe has to say about this piece in the Zoyar. Look at 5-6 lines before the bottom. Pasach v'yomar. Pasach v'yomar. It's in the beginning of Ela Pekudei Mishkan. It says that Reb Chizkiah Pasach v'yomar, Reb Yehuda Pasach v'yomar, Pasach v'yomar. Yefei neif mesayis kol haaretz hartzei in yaketz etzaf in kiris melech rav. Tochazi. I want to show you something. Kabara kuchabrich alma, when the Eibusha created the world, Ashdi Chad Avner. He took one rock from under the Kisei HaKavod and he threw it. The Zohar Vayakhel is very descriptive. Ashdi Chad Avner yakirim mit chus kursi yekore, and he took one stone and v'shaka tohima, and he threw it, a special stone that went flying into the tohim.
It's to be heavy.
Yeah, v'shaka v'reish echad dehu avna noetz begoy tohima, v'reish acher le'ela, and one the bottom part of the stone is sticking into the tohim of the ground, and the other one is sticking out. V'ahu reisha acher ilo ahu chad nekuda dekaima be'emtza de'alma. And this rock is standing in this Nakuda, which is the middle of the world. From there, the world is spread from the right and the left and to all sides. The world is round. I mean, there's no, whatever. At any point, you take a globe and you just point at this point and say, "This is the center," and the whole world spreads out from here. And everything holds on to the middle point of the world, which is that rock. And that rock is called Shasiya. And what's the shot Shasiya? What is a Shasiya? From here, the world was planted to all sides.
It has to be a very big stone. If the bottom is down and the top is in.
Exactly. And then, Visu Shasiya Shas Yutke. The Eibusha made this to be the foundation of the world. Okay. The Eibusha made this to be turn the page.
Nothing makes sense.
In 3 ways, the world goes around this point. One line goes around this point. One point, the first circle that goes around is called the most refined part of the world is in the first circle. V'tamon iu, and in the center is that rock, right? That stone. And this rock is standing on the highest point of that nakuda. Ispashtusa tinyana, the second ring, sarchon nadahu ispashtusa kadma, which is around the first ring. So la view tzachusa v'zachusa hu kadma is not as pure as the first piece of ring. Avaliu dokik v'tzach, but tzachusa de'afra. But it is a little more refined. Yater mikol shad afra chara is more refined than all other dust, all other ground. Ispashtusa tlisah, the third ring. Iu chashuch v'gosu de'afra yater mikula. This is its darkness and it's coarse, and the sand is more coarse than any other sand in the world. Sarchona dahai kaimen min demayedu kionus. And around that is the Atlantic Ocean, the Yama Kionis, the Askar Kol Alma that surrounds the whole world. So you have this one point in the middle, in the center, and then you have 3 rings around it. The Alma, Sarchone, and everything goes around this rock, this Eben Shasiya.
And this is from the Zohar.
This is the Zohar. It's Pashtusa Rishoina. Like, I'm sorry. The Pashtusa Kadma Yubei Magdosha. The first, the ring is the Beis HaMikdash. And that includes Kolin and Echolam, Va'azores, V'chlotekun and Eloi, and everything that's part of the Beis HaMikdash. And Yerushalayim, V'chol Mosa, Meshura, Lagoi, whatever is from the Chaima and in the inside. Ispashtus, Tinyan, the second ring, Kol Ardi Yisrael, Iskadashas, Bekudusha, is in that Kedusha. Ispashtus, at least so. The third ring, you call short out of the rest of the land, Asa Meisava the Sharamim, and this includes also the place of, and then Yamadukionus, Isachar Koilo, and the Atlantic Ocean surrounds everything. So we already know, Ukma means we already established that the secret, the secret is that this is the Gavnin de Eina, this is the apple of the eye. This is the Nakuda, the Hun Nakuda dem Sisa de Eina, this is the Nakuda which is the middle of the eye, the Uchez Lacholaima, which is this is the light of the eye. This is, you see from the center point of the eye. Kagavna Hun Nakuda dem Tzusa Kamaran, this is the Nakuda, the Mtsois of the world that we just mentioned, the Evan Shasiu, the Uchez Lachula. Because this is the Nakuda, from there comes the Re'iyah from everything. Tamon Kohen Beis Kodesh Kadosh Amarim Kapoides, and that's where it stands on that rock, the place of the Kodesh Kadosh and the Oren and the Kapoides. The Inuchez of the Koil, and that's the place where you see godliness. Where do you see godliness? In the Kodesh Kadosh. Shtakechun Nakuda Chez of the Kol Alma. Valdo Ksiv Yefei Neuf Meseis Kol Oretz Hatzin V'Goyme Yefei Shaper Dahu Chezu V'Ched V'Dechoila. This is the place which is the idea of Yoifi, and this is the place of Chezer, a place of Re'iyah. Noifa, the Ilona, the Hishapar, the Kula. This is the nicest place in the world. Tochazei Shapiru the Alma v'Chezer the Alma lois Chozei be'Alma. This beauty of the world was not seen in the world for many generations, Adis Bone Itaka Mashkana, until it was established the Mishkan. Ve'ol Aron Legoikucha, and the Oren came into the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Mahi Shaita, from that time that the Oren came into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, es Chazeh Chezeh D'Chula V'Alma. From that time, everything could be seen in the world. And V'Stakonas Alma, the world became metuken, became fixed up. Ve'ozla B'Hu Mashkana B'Hu Arona, and they went with that Mishkan and that Oren. They traveled at the Makal Nakuda until they came to that Nakuda, which is Yerushalayim. The Yefei Neuf Chedva the Chula, which is the place of beauty and the pinnacle of the world. Given the Motel Awesome, when they came there, Kadeim Pasach Arona Ve'Amad Aaron said, Zeis Menachasi Adad Poi Eshev Ki Yivisia. The Aaron said, this is my place. This is my place. This is my place. And it's to say. Rabbi Yesi Omar, that this pasuk, Adayad, Zois Menachasi Adad Poisha Eshev Ki Visio, Haikro Knesset Yisrael Amra. This pasuk was really said by Knesset Yisrael. Shaita Diz Bnei Beis Magdosha V'Ol Aron Al Asri. That the Yidden said it. Reb Chizki Omar, Reb Chizki said Kuchabricho Omar Al Knesset Yisrael. Reb Chizki said the Eibishter said it. Kad Yisrael Avden Usa, when the Yidden do his rotzen, the Hakaden Kuchabrichu, Yosef Gal Kursaya di Kore, V'Choyes Al Alma, the Eibishter sits on his Kisei HaKoved and he has Rachmanos in the world. And from that, Bracha V'Shalom V'Chavivusa the Choyla. Bracha, Shalom, Chavivus of everything, Ishtakach, everything comes from that. Kadein Omar, and from that the pasuk says, the Eibishter says, there's Menachosei Adayad. Okay. Okay, let's stop for a second.
But the Mishkan was before Abishimon Bar Yochai.
They're telling you what happened by the Mishkan and the Beis HaMikdash.
So how is described what was in the Mishkan?
The pasuk is telling us. So basically, we have three pshatim in the pasuk. Who said the pasuk? Zois Menachasi in Kapitel Kuflamet Beis in Tehillim. Because Zois Menachasi Adad Poi Eshev Aki Visia. This is going to be my menucha forever and ever. Who said this is going to be? Someone said, this is going to be my resting place for eternal, resting place forever and ever. Who said it? So there's three opinions. The first opinion is that the Aron said it. The second opinion is the Jew said it. The third is that the Eibishter said it. Someone said, wow, we finally got home. We finally arrived. There's going to be a time you're going to get to a place of tranquility. So who announced, now it's beautiful? So there's three opinions. The Aron said, we arrived. Second is, Klal Yisrael said, I arrived. I'm feeling comfortable now. And the third is that the Eibishter spoke here. So these are the three opinions. It's interesting because the last one, L'choira, has nothing to do with the building of the Beis Hamikdash. Just that's another pshat in the pasuk. Also, the first one is different than the other two. The first one is talking about the Zman, and the other two are talking about the Mokum. So how do the three flow together? Okay. In the Rebbe's father has on this shtickle, which maybe we'll do some other time, a Kabbalah, how these three opinions go very well, the Shitos of each opinion. So the Rebbe has a thought like this. There's the Elo Divrei Elokim Chaim in the Zohar. The Zohar usually it's Kabbalah, less Tamon, Kudsha, Machloikis. It all goes to good. It's all good. Okay, so how does it all? It's three opinions. Yeah, no shaka, but there is. The Rebbe says, there's 3 points in the Beis Hamikdash. The Rebbe says it's a Machloikis Rishonim, why we need a Beis Hamikdash. And these could be the three opinions, but all three are true. The first opinion is the Ramban. The Ramban says that the main part of the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash is a place for the Aron. A place for the Aron.
Not the house of Hashem?
The place of the Aron, yeah, that's what Ramban says.
Not Kodesh HaKodeshim?
No, the Aron, the place for the Aron. So it makes sense if the main part of the Beis Hamikdash, the place of the Aron. So when they brought the Aron into Kodesh HaKadoshim, the Aron announced and said, Zois Menucha Si, my Menucha. If you hold like the Rambam says that the main part of the Beis Hamikdash, why do we build a Beis Hamikdash? Not for the Aron Kodesh. The Rambam writes, so who announced Zois Menucha Si? Klal Yisrael. So Zois Menucha Si. I got to my tranquil place. We were bouncing around from place to place. Jews used to have bombas. It was a heter bombas. You can Shiloh, Nevegiva, here, there, and everywhere. Zois Menucha Si Ad Yad. Now I have a place. I'm going to find the Eibishter 3 times a year. Shalosh Pam Bashana. I came to my menucha. I'm not a renter anymore. I bought my house, paid up the mortgage. So good. I got there. The Yidden were happy. And the third is that Briskia is that the Iker is the V'shachante V'toichem, that the Eibishter has a place that he could rest. The Eibishter has a place to rest. So the Eibishter gives up. So, but the Rambam doesn't emphasize that a lot. The Rambam says that the mitzvah livness bias muchlis makrim vekarbonos. But the third is that's for the Eibishter. So these are the three opinions here. These are the three opinions. Elamai, because the Zohar is Kabbalah and Pnimis HaTorah, and that's the Yesod of all Kabbalah, Pnimis HaTorah. You have to say that it's Nishka Machloikis. The Rebbe says that you could look at it in a way, and really all three opinions are true. It depends what you're talking about. In the Mishkan, in the Beis Hamikdash, the first and second Beis Hamikdash didn't have the Aron for the full time. So then the end, and at some point, Yeshua HaMelech said that they should hide it, and then the second Beis Hamikdash, it's a Shiloh. If they haven't found it, they brought it back. They didn't. So where did they have the Aron Kodesh the whole time? In the Mishkan. In the Mishkan, they had the Aron Kodesh the whole time. So in the Mishkan, you could say. And in the Mishkan, and it makes sense in the Mishkan that it should say Zois Menuchasi, not in a place but in the time, because we're talking about the Mishkan, and that's why over there in the Zohar, V'taken Alma V'ozla B'hu Mashkoina B'hu Aroina, talking about the Mishkan also. The second opinion is talking about the first and the second Beis Hamikdash. For 410 years, and then for 420 years, Eden had a place. That was a home for every Jew. That was the center of Jewish life, Yerushalayim, the Beis Hamikdash. So the second opinion is talking about Knesset Yisrael. It's talking first, second Beis Hamikdash. The third opinion is Meramaz and La'asad, when it's going to be, it's Binyan de Kuchabrichu. It's called the Eibishter's house. So therefore, it's not a machloikus. There's 3 points in the Beis Hamikdash. One is expressed in the Mishkan, one is expressed in the Beis Hamikdash, and the third is expressed in the Beis Hamikdash Ashlishi. The Rebbe says that you could also look at it in another way, again, to bring together the 3 opinions. There's 3 steps in Avodas Hashem. You can't do mitzvahs if you don't know what to do. You have to learn Torah. When you learns Torah, the Gemara says a story about Abaye, and Abaye said, if my mother asked me one day to make her kutach, you think is like, they take old milk, spoiled milk, and take hard bread, they put it inside, mix it in, and that's kutach. The Gemara talks about kutach.
Yogurt?
Yeah. It wasn't such a gewaldige yogurt with granola, kutach. So Abaye says, when my mother tells me one day to bring her a plate of kutach, to make her some kutach, lo garisna kula yoim. That day is shot. I can't learn that day. You see? Next time you ask Leibel to do some job, we're there for you. Think about it. It's an unbelievable thing in life. The Gemara says that lo nikne Torah lo loich leman. And the simple pshat is that for a person to be able to focus on learning Torah, you can't have a million things on your head. You can't have a million things in the head. So that's why when a person really, it's something that we do that's extraordinary, that the whole world doesn't understand. We send our kids to yeshiva. Like, are you crazy? But we believe that for someone to really immerse themselves in Torah, that you'd have to take away every other thought in the world. Every other thought in the world. So the first step was when the Jews were in the desert. Mainly they focused on learning Torah. They weren't yet in the Israel, so they were not doing that many mitzvahs, but they were focusing on learning Torah. Second step is Kotel Talmud Shemei V'Dei Maisa, which is doing Maisa mitzvah. That's mainly when the Yidden were in Eretz Yisrael, they were able to do all the mitzvahs. Even if I'm not doing it, when the Yidden are together, so when the Melech does his mitzvah and the Kohen does his mitzvah, and it's a co-op, we're all doing the mitzvahs. Then there is the third level. There's Torah, there's mitzvah, there's schar mitzvah. So schar mitzvah on the lowest level is the Rambam says the kid is scared from the malamed, or he's a carrot in the stick. He wants to get a candy, or he wants to get a vessel kovid. He'll be called a big person. But Behemoth says this is all narishkeit. The ultimate of mitzvahs is nachas ruach lafonei shamarti v'nasa etzoni. Not my pleasure; it's the Eibishter's pleasure. So these are the 3 steps. There's Torah, which is Aroina, which needs a certain level of Manucha. There's mitzvahs, which also you need a certain level of Manucha. And then there is Schar Mitzvah, the Eibishter, the Nachas Ruach of the Eibishter. I want to stop for a moment.
So I just need some clarification. The Torah is, we need instructions for the mitzvah.
Right. And then we do the mitzvahs. And then we get the rewards for the mitzvah.
But
what's the ultimate reward of the mitzvah? That I know that I have satisfaction that's Hashem's pleasure. It's my satisfaction that it's Hashem's pleasure.
Sure. But I look at it not from my satisfaction, but from Hashem's satisfaction.
Right. And that's the ultimate. Let me pause for a second, because we're talking about building a Mishkan and a Beis Hamikdash. And really, it's one long mitzvah. The Mishkan, the first Beis Hamikdash, the second Beis Hamikdash. If we build a shul in the middle of Flatbush on East 17th Street, Mashiach Tzidkenu comes and we build the Beis Hamikdash, it's all one mitzvah.
And the whole shul moved to Yerushalayim. It said all the technicians.
There was a Yid in Calcutta. And as you know, in the summer when we did the tshuva that in Rav Pa'olim, we did on one of the shiurim, a shiur. So you see that the shilas that they had from India, they used to send to the Ben Ish Chai. Because the people in India were kofuf bottle to the Ben Ish Chai.
India and Iraq is far away.
But because I'll tell you why. It's not a geographical thing.
A lot of business was between Iraq In India, a lot of Jews
What does it?
used to go there, got married there, had kids, and came back to
What
Iran.
does it? Just like you found out from my uncle that came into Fabrein, that the family was from Baghdad. Then they moved to not Calcutta, somewhere else, somewhere in India, and then something like that. And then from there they moved to Burma, and from Burma they moved to Melbourne. So that was
like South America.
no Burma, Myanmar. It's Asia.
Southeast Asia.
Right.
It's right next to Thailand.
Yeah, one of the safest countries today in the world.
Yeah.
No one dares to steal anything if they want to keep their limbs attached to their body.
I'm not, by the way, Rabbi.
There's no crime. When you know there's no crime in a country, it's not good.
My parents actually have a close friend. He's Jewish. He was born in Burma, moved to India, and then moved to Israel.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was a certain connection over there to Baghdad.
Yeah.
So he was a rich man. He was a rich man, and he asked the Ben Ish Chai that he hears that there is not enough hospitals in Yerushalayim. At that time, there were 2 hospitals in Yerushalayim, and he wanted to build another hospital. The Ben Ish Chai told him, there's other people that will build hospitals. Don't worry about hospitals. The hospital is for the healing of the body, but the Jewish soul needs to be healed too. I'd like you to find a property which is in the highest point of Yerushalayim, which is facing the Mokum HaMikdash. You should buy that property and build a Beis Medrash, a Beis HaKnesses, and a Beis HaMedrash. So the rich man came to Yerushalayim, and the Ben Ish Chai told him to go to a Talmud. He had a Talmud, Ben Zion HaChazan, who was a Chazan in Yerushalayim, and that he's a wise person. They should figure out how to. So they came to Yerushalayim. It turns out there was a beautiful property, an empty property, a very high point Yerushalayim, very close to the Mokum HaMikdash. The problem was that this property would belong to the wakff, and there was no way in the world that the wakff was going to sell a piece of property should be a Beis Medrash. So Ibn Zion said, if you are willing to pay the price, we'll have the Beis Medrash. The man was willing to pay the price. So Ibn Zion gets a beautiful basket, a wicker basket, nothing is very special. He gets very nice fruits. And he makes sure to line the bottom of the basket with matbeis. Really a nicer chunk of money. Fills it up with fruits. And he goes to the head of the Arab wakff. He knocks on the door. How do you say, my friend, in Arabic?
Habibi.
Habibi. Knock on the door. He opens the door. I'm bringing a basket of fruits for you. Yeah, sure. Come in. He notices under the fruits the matbeis are shining. What can I do for you? He says, I'm looking to buy a property. He tells him exactly which property. And this guy is a Sonny Yisrael, but he also Oyev Betza. So he says, leave the fruits here. We'll try to figure it out. Needless to say that he took the money for himself. And a short time later, he called the council of the wakff. He says, he's resigning. There's no more money. There's 0 money left. And everything is falling apart. He's resigning. It was well, why are you resigning? Well, I guess see, we have nothing. He says, yeah, we have a couple of properties. So why don't we sell one of the properties? He says, who's going to buy them? So the head of the wakff says, yeah, if a couple of Jews wanted to buy, but I'm not going to sell it to them. And in Tzaddik, they say, okay, we'll sell them one of the properties. Didn't mention which property it was. He called back for Ben Zion, and he sold him this piece that he wanted in the high place next to the Mokum HaMikdash. Signed and sealed. Immediately they started to build. The Arabs couldn't take it. They such a piece of real. The wakff sold it to, and they found out who actually sold, who was behind it. So whenever he'd walk by the shuk, the Arabs, the merchants would go to him like this on their neck, like, like he's not going to live for long. So he wrote a letter to the Ben Ish Chai saying that he's nervous. The Ben Ish Chai wrote a letter to the Sid in Calcutta, asked him that he's good friends with the British Council in Calcutta, that this Ben Zion should become a British citizen. Again, for a couple of bucks, everything is shaykh, and Ben Zion became a British citizen. As soon as he became a British citizen, the Arabs really
Not touching.
Yeah, they could think about better things to do. They didn't want to start up with a British citizen. And Baruch Hashem, Ben Zion built up the base Medrash and the base Knesses, and that's the yeshiva at Porat Yosef that stands there till today.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
Not the Chorvishal?
No, not Chorvishal.
Well,
That's the yeshiva at Porat Yosef that's
beautiful
standing.
building.
Yeah, man.
That wasn't the original building, but that's the piece of land. That's the piece of land that was bought originally for yeshiva at Porat Yosef.
Great story. It's true.
Based on the inspiration from the Ben Ish Chai.
Wow.
Sometimes you need.
So, you didn't know this story?
I learned in
Start
elementary
surprise.
school Porat Yosef.
Mm-hmm.
Elementary school, not
You didn't know this story? I'm
No.
shocked surprised.
Okay.
It's in the old city.
Well, if every story I tell, he already knows he's not coming.
I get the rabbi.
It's the
book
closest
about the Ben Ish Chai.
yeshiva to the Koisel.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. It's the best real estate.
Wow. And now they build it like unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Wow.
So the Eibishter helped. There's a constant mitzvah of and there's a beautiful deal here. It says that the Beis HaMikdash, the Eibishter took it as a mashkin. The Rebbe has a beautiful deal. He says, "What do you mean took it as a mashkin? When you take a mashkin, you can't destroy it. If you have someone's mashkin in your hand, if you give a loan, someone gives you collateral, you have to keep it.
Watch.
So Be'emes, the Beis HaMikdash is a mashkin. What looks to us like a churban, but Be'emes, by the Eibishter, it's standing b'shleimus. It's just that we have to bring it down, and there's a constant mitzvah that starts in the Mishkan and the Beis HaMikdash and building a Mikdash Miyat, and then we get to the final mitzvah of the Beis HaMikdash Hashlishi.
No, man.
Maybe shall helfen the schus that we're busy now building a Beis HaMikdash and Mikdash Miyat.
Right.
The Rebbe said that every Jew has to make a Mikdash Miyat in his house, but we're also busy now building Taka Mikdash Miyat. So we should be zoiche that as we're drawing our plans, that before we even get to pour cement, before we get to put up bricks, before we get to put in steel beams, that Mashiach Tzidkeinu should come, and we should finish off all our plans in Yerushalayim Mir HaKodesh, and over there we'll be able to. The Oren is going to say Zois Menachasi Ad Yad, and Klal Yisrael is going to say Zois Menachasi Ad Yad. Every Yid is going to feel tranquility. Every Yid is going to say, we came home, and the Rebbeinu Shalom will be the third one that will say this pasuk Zois Menachasi Ad Yad, because that's going to be Taka Ad Yad, that we're going to be there Bevias Mashiach Tzidkeinu.
Amen.
Amen.
When they build up Rabbi Zeresh, Yad Yosef, he need a lot of money. It's a beautiful shul. So somebody asked him, if Mashiach come, spend so much money. He said, all Batei Knesiyot, the way they are, they will move to Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim be big, and all the shuls from Chutz La'aretz, the way they are, you build up nice, it'll be a nice shul there. That's because the shul. Next door, they're building up now another rabbi that Rabbi Zeh helped him. Forgot his name. Like also beautiful shul. They'll be next to each other. They're building it over a year already.
That's a shul. That building that on the corner of
the corner. It's a house that they're selling it. Tried to sell it for a lot of years. When I was living there, it was on sale. I'm not there for 12 or 13 years.
there's a building that went up in the corner of K and Ocean Parkway.
Yeah, this is
That's
this is called the club of Bet Torah. That's a club. They have a shul there. They have 2 halls, fancy, expensive halls. I was there a lot of times. It's a beautiful how they built it.
Uh-huh. Club for Bez Torah, very
Yeah.
good.
They have shiurim there. They're young 20 to 30 boys that they have shiurim there. They have a rabbi. You have to go in. You have shul in the bottom, shul in the second floor, shul in the fourth floor, and then they transfer it to a hall. More expensive hall, less expensive, and less expensive. It's unbelievable. I
Wow.
was there in the bridge with my daughter's friend. They had a bridge, second floor with Davin, beautiful shul, and then we made third floor the mill. I never saw in my life such a beautiful place.
How many Sephardi shul on Ocean Park?
Yeah, but
They,
you're talking Syrian or Lebanon or
Both,
Egyptian?
both.
No, they have about 10 at least.
Big ones.
Big ones, you know. Sha'ar Tzion, Avava, Bet Torah, Yad Yosef,
Shar Zion.
Sha'ar Zayin, it's a big one.
Yeah.
Sha'ar Zayin, they make Simcha there at $150,000.
And people
$150,000.
walk in off the street, it's a day.
I know some people that I know personally that every week they put different suit and have a meal for the whole week. Nobody changes all the
The
face.
Syrians do things a little differently.
We-
Not everybody's invited, they just walk in.
Very nice. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
That's a shame. We hope that
Okay,
this side
that's it.
will help this side.
And it's a shame. We should make the same.
We need one, right?